you guys hear me? Okay. I want to tell you a little story about my brush with God at the Vancouver Aquarium. As part of the volunteer training committee, As part of the volunteer training committee, I chose to educate and entertain a theater full of new recruits with a creature feature. Basically, a 5-minute presentation, information and cool facts on an animal. Like any good story, this one involves both feces and regurgitation. I picked the scarlet ibis, a poo machine with attitude and great aim. But it's good luck, right? I hear crows use facial recognition. Maybe be careful not to upset the bird brain. While observing the flock of scarlet ibis, I was decorated quite a few times and learned to watch my step and for what was lurking overhead. Before opening hours, staff spent a lot of time hosing down the whitewash from everything. It reminded me of Rowan Atkinson's Mr. Bean painting his apartment with a can of paint and explosives. Anyhow, the scarlet ibis achieves fertilization without penetration and usually lays 3 to 5 green-brown mottled eggs. Scarlet ibis are gregarious creatures living in groups of 30 to 50 animals, usually close to water, where they filter feed and find crustaceans to eat. If you're interested, they're easy to sex. The male's bill is 20% longer than the female's, so just get them all to stand in a straight line and you will have no problem. Now, as there were not many cell phones around Central and South America in the old days, finding ancient texts to study was proving very difficult for me. So I looked to a more famous cousin of the scarlet ibis. For more information, I picked the sacred ibis of Egypt. Now, the ancient Egyptians incorporated phonetic resonance as part of their language. The sound is the meaning. Okay? It's a little bit different from ours. They were great navigators by land or water and traded goods and information with the rest of the known world. The ancient twitchers observed the ibis footprints, 3 out the front, 1 out the back. Now, they witnessed this on the soft shorelines, but sometimes they also came across 3+1 stamped into solid rock up in hills. 3+1, the base for math and science with the ancient Sumerians and the Nordic tree of life. Good stuff. The twitchers also noticed the ibis counter-shading, color changing, and dipping bills in what appeared to be empty water, but somehow they got food. Producing the sound thoth when they regurgitated the non-existent food for their chicks. Changing color sounds fantastic too, but eat too many carrots, you turn orange, too much booze, you turn green, and then things get really ugly. So lobsters, crabs, shrimp, cook them up and see the color change. You guys know where I'm going with this? This animal is absolutely amazing. The ibis had also been linked to resurrection and many other things, so having a few buried with you made good sense. Ibis were being mass-produced for funerary purposes, but were very costly. As gods were known to be both human and animal, the Egyptians represented the ibis with a human body and an ibis head, the god Thoth. Due to the frenzied worship of the sacred ibis, they are now long extinct in Egypt. Now, we all know how stories can change as they get passed along. The ancient Greeks liked to discuss things, maybe alter some words to better define. So, Thoth became Theos. If you look at the root word, theory, theater, a reference point, the beginning of everything. The Germanics changed Theos to Gott, and now we say God. Take what you want from this story, but when you're in the Amazon gallery at the Vancouver Aquarium and you look up and see God, don't stand there with your mouth open.